Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool arcade game purchase video for you today. I'm on my way to pick up some games I bought at an auction online. I haven't seen them yet, but Ronnie's always kind of looking at online auctions and buying old clocks and stuff like that, and we happened to run across some arcade games in one of them, which doesn't happen too often. They had about 15 machines. I was hoping I could buy a bunch of them to make it worth the trip, but a lot of them went a lot higher than I could pay. So I was actually able to get 3 of them though. I was kind of hoping to get more, but it is what it is. I got to leave some meat on the bone. Them other people, they bid too much. I ain't got that kind of money. Amazon ain't paying that good. Come on now. But yeah, we're on the way to get 3 of them. So I didn't have to bring the trailer. I'm just going to take my truck. The other ones went...
In 10 miles, turn right onto Black Highway.
Okay. Other ones went pretty high. I see a lot of people do this. You know, if you're buying it for your house, you can pay, obviously you can pay more than I can because I've got to fix it and resell it and give a warranty. But I see people buy machines and then they'll try to flip them, you know, later for like $100 more. But the people aren't even factoring in their time, you know. They're working too cheap. You gotta consider the time it's going to take me to go up here to get them. I gotta figure in the gas, the wear and tear on the truck, the time back, you know, to the shop, all the, you know, parts and labor you're gonna have to put into it. I don't think people take any of that into consideration whenever they're trying that. I don't know. People just, I guess they're just not good at math. But yeah, I've seen games sell for more than I sell them for retail, all cleaned up with a warranty at the auction. So anyway, enough of that. I'm on the way. It's about 45 minutes or so from our store. So hopefully I can get some shots and we'll go from there. One other thing you got to be careful about whenever you're buying stuff at the auction. I don't care what they say or anything about the machine. You pretty much got to consider the game broke. It may be working in the pictures. They may say it works. They may say they played it last night. I don't care what they say. I'm telling you, you got to go in just assuming that it's broke. Because if you pay top dollar for it, thinking that it's working, and then you find out that the board's got some kind of glitch in it and you got to buy another one, well, now you're upside down. You got to get these things cheap enough where even if they're broke, you can put a little bit of money into them, fix them, and resell them. So don't pay top dollar for this stuff at the auction, because most of the time it's at the auction for a reason. All right, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
What's up, bro?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Doing all right? Mr. Lyons, I presume?
What was that?
Mr. Lyons, I presume?
That's me. I don't know if you need that or not.
I can kind of tell just as soon as you picked up, I was like, yeah, that's the guy. Let's do this. It's a cool little setup, man.
Yeah, should be pretty easy.
That's it. You need anything else from me? No, brother. I was going to ask you. I got to go back over to the other store. It's right around the corner. But do you need to use the bathroom or anything while you're here?
No, I'm fine.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
I'm all set.
Well, shoot, man. I greatly
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye out for us. Like I said, I'm going to try and pack as many as I can.
Okay.
Yeah, a guy closed down a big one in the 80s up on that side of the state, and
Okay.
it's been sick. They literally closed the doors and just shut it, and I'm trying like hell to crack it open.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll get in there.
Yeah. I hope so, brother, but you keep an eye out for us. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you.
I'll keep checking with you. Huh? No, yeah, it was real easy. I just came straight down 5.
That's my favorite ride in town.
Yeah.
4 lanes and nobody's ever on it.
That's right. You got to be careful. You get a ticket out there
That's
pretty
exactly
easy.
easy.
Yeah. Right there. All right, well, I don't know how well that turned out. I had you propped up on something. I didn't have a tripod. I'm actually using my phone. But we got an Arch Rivals and a kit cabinet. We got a Bad Dudes. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. That one's dedicated. And a dedicated 2-slot Neo Geo. So as you're seeing, it only took about 5 minutes to load up. This ain't my first rodeo. But let's get back to the shop and we'll unload them and see what we got going on. All right, I made it back. You had to excuse the noise. They're working on that building over there and they got that generator running all day. But I'm gonna tell you a story. You're not even gonna believe me, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. See how the sun is shining right down on that monitor, on that Neo Geo? Also on the bad dudes. But we're talking about the Neo Geo. I had it, it had to be at least 20 years ago. I had a game like this on my truck, or Ronnie did actually. And a guy we knew at the time, he was older than us and he had a bigger route. He had a huge operation he had going on. And it was actually his game on the truck. And he said, "Ronnie, put some cardboard over that monitor." And we were wondering, why the heck does he want cardboard over the monitor? And he said, "Yeah, you gotta get something to put on there, that tube will crack." And he was dead serious about it. So we were thinking, oh, come on now. But we've covered it up. And ever since then, I've always covered it up, or not left a game out in the sun like this very long. Because a few years later, I bought a game and the tube was cracked exactly like what he said. And it must have been, the sun must have hit it just right, or was beating down on it and actually cracked the tube. And he told me it was much more likely to do it on the bigger tubes, the 25 inches, 27, 29s. I don't think he ever said anything about the 19s, but yeah, that's just something he told me all those years ago. And every time I got one of these on my truck, I think about it every time. Because I actually found one once that the tube was cracked on, just like he said. And I guess it must have been the sun. He knew what he was talking about. He had a lot more games than I had at the time. I was just a dumb kid, He had a major operation going. So anyway, I got to get these off the truck because I'm always paranoid about it now. Alright, so let's give them a once over. This is a 2-slot Neo Geo. If you saw our other video about a month or so ago where I had to peel all this off and repaint it, I won't have to do that with this one. This one's in very nice shape, I'd say, for its age. I had to pay the most for this one. This one was everybody's favorite, I guess. Everything looks pretty good. Repaint this black and it'll be real nice. I don't think I'm going to have to change, well, probably won't change the overlay. It looks in pretty good shape. Marquee looks good. I'm hoping these games are still inside of it, and the board's even in there. I haven't even looked. Samurai Showdown and Baseball Stars too. Here's the other side. Little wear, but overall pretty nice. This, you gotta remember, this machine's 30 years old. Missing the bottom back door. And these always seem to do this. A lot of these games with this big box style power supply, which this actually looks like it's the original power supply. But yeah, this piece breaks loose. And it's kind of dangerous because, you know, this is metal here. If that scrapes on there and shorts out, you better hope your circuit breaker kicks. So we don't mess with stuff like that. We're going to take all that out. We're going to take that out and put a brand new power supply in it. So that's the 2-slot. I'm hoping the board's in there. Should we look? You're going to keep watching while I unlatch the control panel. Alright, so you got to open the door. There's a latch on each side. They're hard to get to sometimes. There we go. The board's in there. That's good. Got some remnants of a mouse. Ralph mouse. I was hoping it had a 7000 monitor in there, but apparently it doesn't. Maybe we'll get lucky and be able to fix that one. All this looks good. Next up, we have the bad dudes. To me, it's in pretty good shape too. The side art's gone off this side, but that's no big deal. All the gray is in pretty good shape. I don't think I'll have to repaint it. That's coming loose, but I'll probably just take that off and either leave it off or get another piece to put on there. Control panel's in good shape. Looks like it's all original. Monitor bezel's in pretty good shape. It's faded a little bit, but it's clean. His pants were probably supposed to be red, like up there. And this has the curved marquee, which looks like it's in good shape. And then we have this side. Side art's faded a little bit. And we got a little wear there on the corner. But other than that, I'm happy with it. It's not falling apart. No back door again. Surprise, surprise. These things are always missing the back door. About half the games I get, I have to cut back doors for. But this one looks like it's all original, never been messed with. That's the original power supply down in there. Board. Original monitor, never been touched. Still has the white knob flyback on it. Let's see if it's cracked yet. Looks like it. Can't really tell in the camera, but it's broke, people. They had some little descriptions about each game. I think they may have said one or two of them turn on or something. I don't know, but I'm sure they're all broke. I've got to do the same thing to all of them anyway. I got to rebuild the monitor. I got to put a new power supply in them just for preventative maintenance. So, you know, I go in assuming that everything's broke anyway, because I got to take that monitor out regardless. Even if that monitor was working, I still got to take it out to give it a once over. All right, and then next we have Arch Rivals. I don't think we've done a video on an Arch Rivals. That's why we picked this up. This is a kit game though, but it's in pretty good shape. It's cleaned up a little bit. I'll probably repaint this black. This is laminate on the side, so you don't actually have to paint that. It'll clean up good. Missing the back door again. I don't think this one's been touched at all either. I think this is you know, they probably turned this into an Arch Rivals back in the day and never messed with it again. It's got an original 7000 monitor, never been messed with. I can tell by the blue caps there and the white knob flyback. See how it's cracked? You guys thought I was crazy. Cracked. See it? You see it? Not so much up here, but right in here. So even if this monitor works, it wouldn't work for very long without the focus drifting, which I'm sure it's probably already drifting. If you leave it on for a little bit, that focus would drift and get way out of whack. But that's textbook 7000 flyback right there. Anytime they have a white knob flyback, I just change it. People think I'm crazy, but I just go ahead and do it. I've tried to, you know, just leave them before. Well, it ain't that bad. I think it'll be all right. That flyback's $40, and then I got to change it. What happens is we sell it to somebody. 2 months later, they call us and say it's drifting, or it just went out altogether. And then I have to go out to their house and take the monitor out in their living room, and I'm down there on my hands and knees sitting Indian style with a soldering iron plugged into an extension cord on their carpet, trying to change that flyback while they're staring at me the whole time. So why do you think it did that? You think this one's going to last longer? Can you still get these parts? It goes on and on, people. I'm telling you, I'd prefer to just go ahead and change it now. Alright, that's my rant. So, it's got the original board set in it, similar to the soundboard's kind of similar to the Mortal Kombat stuff. Oh, but yeah, it's pretty much what we expected. They even have the volume knob up there like a Mortal Kombat. I guess this is the midway. Yep. I've only had a couple of these arch rivals. Midway. So I'm going to work on this one first, the arch rivals, because I've actually already have a Bad Dudes for sale right now. And I also have a Neo Geo for sale right now. So if I sell one of those other ones, then I'll get all gung-ho to fix one of these. But a lot of times you'll see us having the same games over and over and over and over again. That's because we know those games. Like Bad Dudes, I know it's just a JAMA board, a switch and power supply, and a 7000 monitor. Arch Rivals, same thing. I know it's just a 7000 monitor, a switch and power supply, and a JAMA board that I'm sure I'll be able to get very easily if that one's bad. Neo Geo, same thing. That board might cause me some trouble in the Neo Geo. The motherboard, they're kind of notorious for that. But the thing about it is, so many people want Neo Geos that it makes it worth messing with, you know. I've had probably 50 of the Neo Geos, if you can believe that. So we buy the same games over and over and over again just because I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like, you won't see me get a Star Wars Vector, the original one, because it's got that color vector monitor in it. It's got that hard board to fix. It's got that yoke controller on it. Yeah, they're valuable, but yeah, they also cost a lot of money to repair. And that color vector monitor don't work for very long usually. Even if you get it rebuilt and it's working beautifully at your store, they're temperamental. So I won't mess with a pole position hardly unless I get it for hardly anything. I'll get it in like a bulk deal. I won't mess with a pole position. I won't mess with a Star Wars. I usually don't mess with a Tempest, and I don't mess with a Tron. I don't like any of the MCR games, and I don't like any of the color vector games because I have to offer a warranty with these things. I'm selling them retail prices. I can't just get it working, sell it, and if it dies 2 days later, well, oh well. If it dies 2 days later, I got to go pick it back up and bring it back and fix it. So I don't mess with that stuff. I try to only get stuff that I know I can easily repair, and I feel good about them working a long time after I sell them. So anyway, I think like I say, we'll probably start with this Arch Rivals, and we'll see what it needs. I'm hoping it just needs the monitor rebuilt, cleaned up a little bit, and the power supply change. That's technically what I do. And I'll take off this plexiglass. I always do this on these. See how all that dirt's underneath the plexiglass? Well, I'm sure this looked great when they did it, you know, 30 years ago. But now I usually just take that plexiglass off because it's always all scratched up and it's cracked around the buttons there. You know, I mean, the joysticks. Got all that dirt in there. So they did me a favor, because whenever I take that all off, that overlay will still be new looking, hopefully, once I get it cleaned. And that won't be a problem because it's going in somebody's house. And, you know, they can just, it'll stay clean. They put this on because it was in a commercial environment. But we'll get started on that one and get back to you. All right. So let's start messing with this Arch Rivals. I haven't plugged it in yet. Well, I plugged it in, but I didn't hit the switch. See my little switch? I was waiting on you guys. I know you guys wanted to see what would happen. It may work fine. I don't know. I got it at the auction. We'll see. Sounds like the monitor is on. I don't see any smoke yet. All right, let's see. Well, just as I thought, it's broke. Flyback's way too high. Maybe there's something on the screen. Let's see. Let's turn it down. Bottom one. Screen. Left is down. We need to go some more. See what that does. Power supply is probably bad. Yep. All right, nothing. I'm hitting the buttons. Nothing's happening. So the power supply is probably dead. Let's go get our multimeter and we'll check. All right, so first thing you want to do is you want to check, make sure you got AC going to the power supply. I don't know if I hit the right button to be able to use that remote screen. First thing you want to do is you want to know how to work the multimeter. I was trying to get all cutesy and take off the screen. There we go. All right. All right, so you check the AC to make sure you've actually got AC going to the power supply. So see how we got 120 volt AC going to it? All right, so now we got to change the meter to DC voltage to see if we've got DC coming out of the power supply. Black is ground. Nothing. That should be 5 volts. Yep. It's broke, people. These always have a couple of them that are ground. See, this one's ground and that one's ground. See how they got it tied into the line filter? But yeah, we've got nothing coming out of the DC side. So, power supply's bad. That's why the game isn't working, people. It's broke. And that's pretty much how it is when you buy a game at an auction. It could be anything. Once I put a power supply in it, the board may still have issues. I don't know. But we'll do that first. Never see that again. Drop the screw down to the bottom. Never see that one either. They always make these wires so short where everything fits perfect in there. Of course, they put the circle spade connectors on there, so you got to take the screw all the way out. do it like that. Draw the circle. Nope, those are the spade ones. That's good. So that's your AC coming in and your ground. So the red is usually the 5. Black is ground. White is -5. And yellow is 12. On this game anyway, sometimes those will be backwards. What's yellow? Do you remember? Yellow's 12, people. White's -5. You remember what color black was? I mean, what was black? That's right, it was ground. Thank you for participating. Red's 5. +5. Not to be confused with -5. Hope the camera's recording. Wouldn't that be something? Could they make these wires any shorter? Come on now, people. When we first started doing this, like 25 years ago, we met this guy. We call him the hippie guy because he was, he was kind of like a hippie. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He was a cool old hippie. And we went to go buy something off of him. And he would always say, yeah, you know what was wrong with that game? Power supply, power supply, power supply. So every time I get one, every time I'm changing the power supply, I'm always thinking of that hippie from 25 years ago. That's the first thing you check on these arcade games. Power supply, power supply, power supply. Alright, so we're going to do this. Take my little thing out where it's in the camera. People like to see that apparently. Let me get out of the glare. Let me put it on something. Okay, fine. I'm just going to have to move the tripod. Do it the right way. Look at that glare still on it. You have to bear with me. Alright, so we're going to do AC first. Here we go. Well, I know it's getting AC pretty much because the light's on. And I can hear the game. So let's just switch on over to DC. How's that? Put your black on the ground, red on the 5, and I'm covering up the freaking display with my hands. 5.1. So that's about right. It's technically supposed to be 5 volts, but I like it about 5.1, 5.2 because you're going to lose a little bit in all the wires going over there to the JAMA harness. I usually don't even test the 12. That's just for sounds, and you don't technically need that to be perfect. You need to worry about the 5, the plus 5. Alright, so I'm doing this all in one shot. I don't want you to think I'm editing anything. Let's see what we look like. Looks like our travels to me. They didn't give me the key. I'm gonna have to put a quarter in. Well, let's check the coin mechs. It took my quarter. I want my money back. Let's try this side. Hey, I think I might have got a credit. Yep. There's Tyrone.
Put it up.
Put it up. Where am I? There I am. Here I go. That's 2 points, people. I got to try to block them. I'm not even down there. Anyway, you get the idea. And it was a brick. Alright, so it's somewhat working. It looks like it's working so far, but next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that monitor out of there, replace the flyback, and change all the capacitors because it looks like it's an original one. And see how the focus isn't all that great on it? I could probably adjust that and get it a little bit better, but it would, I think it would drift anyway. Remember that crack we were looking at earlier? So I've got to change the flyback and change the capacitors. So that's what I'm going to do next. And while I'm doing that, I think I'm actually going to take this outside because the weather's pretty nice today, and I'm going to paint this front section. And while that's drying, I'm going to cap the monitor. So that's next. And this may be obvious to a lot of you guys, but I figured I'd mention it anyway. when you change the power supply, you got to be careful to put them where they go. See how that's the +5, -5, 12, AC. Well, different power supplies have those in different areas. See how the +5 is on the top up there? Well, this is a new one that I put in. And see how it's down at the bottom? And the 12 is at the top. So you just got to pay attention to that when you're doing it. All right, got to go get the monitor. All right, I painted the front of it. I still got to put new locks on it and fix my coin door lights. I got the monitor back in. It's looking pretty good. That flashing is just what it does through the camera, but in person here it looks fine. I don't have the plexiglass on it because somebody scratched it up. I'm going to have to go get another one. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can't see it. I can't even tell what it says. I think it says BMX or something. Anyway, I'm going to have to get another one at the hardware store in a little bit. But let's see if we can get the marquee to work. Video games. Yes, it is. There's 2 of them in right now. We've got a white corded one, and then we've got a yellow Gibson one that was wireless. That's 70. Yep. That's 70 also. You don't want to go too bright on your wattage on these. It's not really all that important anymore because everything's LED and all that now, but if you put a really high wattage bulb in there, it could actually burn up the marquee a little bit. Kind of yellow it, but this is a 29 watt LED. And we've seen them before where this board back here will actually get really hot if you put a high wattage bulb in them. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. They put the wide T-molding on it. So I got that lit up. That looks a lot better. Got to clean it up some more. I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this control panel off. And I'm going to clean all that dirt. All that dirt is underneath the plexi. I'm actually going to take the plexi off because it's cracked in a few areas anyway. Take the plexi off, clean it up, and put new cherry switches on the back side of all those buttons. Then we'll put it back on.
Joey, we have got more viewer mail.
All right.
Okay, so this came from Raymond. This is our address. Joe, they can't read our address. If you want to send us anything, now people, we don't want you to send us money or a bunch of stuff. I mean, if you want to, I guess you could, but we're not asking you to send us anything. But, you know, people like sending people letters and things like that. So if you want to send us something, this is our address. Joe's Classic Video Games. I'm Ron Lyons. He's Joe Lyons. 139 Caldwell Street, Rock Hill, South Carolina, 29730. So this comes from our good viewer, Raymond. Let's see what Raymond says. Raymond really knows how to pack a box. Okay. All right, Joe, I'm going to read it.
All right.
My name is Raymond Parker. Well, I was going to edit out his last name, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
There went that.
Well, we'll have to edit all that out. Okay, my name is Raymond. Here is just a small token to show how much I like your videos. Why, thank you, Raymond. Look, Joey sent us a nice box.
Yep.
We can use that for all kinds of stuff. Look at this mess we got around here. We can definitely use the box. I like your videos. I am going on 61, and I'm from the time of arcades, pinball, and the song Pinball Wizard. Raymond, there is a brand new Elton John pinball machine that they have just made. Not Captain Fantastic. A brand new one that the great Steve Ritchie designed. They just talked about releasing it. And in the pinball, they sing Elton John's version of Pinball Wizard. I appreciate anyone who has the skill to master any craft. I don't know that we've mastered any craft.
Well, you know.
Joey, you have not mastered any craft. I don't know. He mastered the craft of bull. I myself have more skills and hobbies than common sense. Well, join the club, Raymond, and build quadcopters and RC vehicles from scratch and solder up to 30 gauge wire. Ooh, 30 gauge is really tiny. All right, well, that's cool. Quadcopters and RC vehicles. I've got just a little drone, and I've got one of those old school big radio controlled planes that's like 4 feet wide. The real simple ones, the old ones, but I haven't ever messed with it. These slate coasters are laser etched, and the holder is laser cut. I make many things like this and sell them. The business card is also laser etched. Enjoy the coasters, and I look forward to many more videos from your page. Why, thank you, Raymond. Let's see what he's talking about, Joe. Now I'm going to investigate his business card. All right, so this is a business card. I can show it because he will not mind if I'm promoting his business.
Boy, that looks like a nice business card.
So, Raymond, this must be him. Okay, let's put it on something where they can read it. Make sure my camera gets it all. There you go. Custom design, laser art, FDM printing, and resin printing. There's his numbers if you want to call him. R&J Wood Novelties. That's pretty cool. A little owl on it. And yeah, it's a like a, what did he call that? It just says laser etched. So I don't know what that, it's plastic, but it's real.
It's laser etched.
It almost feels like metal, but it's plastic. Okay. So that's that. Now here we go. Ooh, I feel it. It's a little holder. Oh, the holder came apart, Raymond. We're going to have to snap it back together. I want to do it when I'm paying attention to it. And he used our logo and made slate coasters out of it. Well, that's pretty cool, man. It's got little feet on it. Let's see here. Let me see if they work. I'm going to test it. It works perfect.
Perfect.
This guy knows how to make a coaster, Joe.
Yep.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no.
5.
That was my greatest nightmare. It's slate. What if I break it? Okay, this popped apart, it looks like, in shipping, Raymond. We're going to put it back together, though. We've got glue and ways we can put that together. It won't be no big deal. Okay, so I'm going to show everybody a close-up of the detail work here. That's pretty cool. So I don't know if that's... He says it's laser etched, so I guess they're painted black, and then he can remove material to let the natural texture shine through. Arcade. All right, very cool. So this is his card. If you would like anything like that, I give it the stamp of approval. Maybe get in touch with him, and he can do some custom stuff for you. Raymond, we appreciate you watching. We will fix this holder and use these things. So thank you very much. We will get back to our regularly scheduled video now.
All right, I got my locks on there. I got my coin mechs fixed. I got my lights on my coin slots fixed. I went to the hardware store, got me a new piece of plexiglass for the monitor. That looks good. I cleaned up my control panel, got all the dirt off there. And if you remember before, they had 3 red buttons on each side. But we looked in the manual and it's actually supposed to be like this. It's supposed to have the red for the shooting and the white for the passing, steal, or the punch. So I got all that cleaned up pretty good. Got my marquee cleaned up pretty good. I found the manual in the bottom of it. And I ended up putting it on free play also. But I've got all the mechs working in case they ever want to put it back on a quarter. But usually we sell these to people for their houses. So they just want to hit the button and go. But I'm going to leave this in the bottom in case they ever want to change it back. So I've got my new power supply, recap the monitor, and then there's just the game board left. And it seems to be working fine. But now you see why we don't do that many arcade videos, just because there's not as much to it. Put a new power supply in it, rebuild the monitor, and all you got really left is the game board. And this one's working, so it went pretty quick. But what we usually do at this point is I've got the back door cut out back on the back of my truck, so I'm going to put the back door back on, and I'm going to slide it against the wall, and we'll leave it on free play for a few days and let our customers play it and try it all out, make sure everything works good on it, and then we'll list it for sale in a few days. So whenever you see this video, we may have already sold this one, but you can see all of our games for sale at lionsarcade.com. Just click games available at the top, and it'll show you all the games we have for sale right now. And I'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. That's been going pretty good for us. Somebody bought a steel case office chair on there a couple days ago, so that was nice. So we got a commission from that. And we appreciate everybody that's been using them. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.